Why are so many rappers dying recently? So many rappers' lives have been taken this year, literally taken away from them. It is simply mind-blowing, but many of the names have not been household names, so very little attention has been paid to them. This year, Lil Wayne, arguably one of the greatest rappers of all time, released his 13th studio album named Funeral, 5 days after the death of Kobe Bryant. And I don't believe it is a coincidence that there have been many funerals for rappers in 2020. And I also don't believe it's a coincidence that Kobe died in 2020. And you can see my thoughts on that in my first video. This is interesting. It was later announced that Lil Wayne's new album would include 24 tracks, and also that track 8, Bing James, which sounds like King James, LeBron, will end with 24 seconds of silence. Both numbers 8 and 24 are significant, as they were worn by Kobe during his NBA career. The media tell us that this is purely down to the fact that Lil Wayne was a die-hard Lakers fan while he paid tribute to Kobe, but think about this. His album came out 5 days after the death of Kobe, so they were able to basically edit the whole album and then release it. Because there's no way originally they had 24 songs lined up and the 24 second of silence. So they managed to just edit and play around with the whole album in tribute of Kobe. No. So here it is, Funeral. It's the album cover of Lil Wayne. He released the album early in 2020. But who is Lil Wayne? Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., better known by his stage name or the name given to him by the Jesuit order, Lil Wayne, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, record executive, entrepreneur, and actor. He's regarded by many contemporaries as one of the most influential hip-hop artists of his generation and often cited as one of the greatest rappers of all time. So he was born September 27th, 1982, and he's currently 38 years old. He's born in New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. So 38 is a huge number. Louisiana's connected with that number, but this number here, 38, connects with a lot of words that you'll find interesting that connect with the death of these rappers. So let's get started. I predicted earlier this year using Gematria that Lil Wayne would likely die at the age of 38, and he's just recently turned 38, September 27th. Lil Wayne recently turned 38, and the word death equals 38 in English ordinal. The word rapper is one of the greatest rappers of all time, equals 38. And then Lil Wayne, his stage name, equals 38. Louisiana, the state in which he was born, equals 38. They have a 101 and 38 connection. And then RIP, which is an acronym for rest in peace, also has a 38 connection, as the reverse ordinal is 38. And it's interesting how death and RIP share 3 of the 4 main ciphers, 38, 25, and 20. 38, 25, and 20. You can find that certain numbers have connections with certain things or certain events or certain people, and it's clear as day. So obviously death and RIP have a clear connection. Hip-hop artists, especially rappers, are some of the most abused people in our society that are often portrayed as living the life of luxury in their music videos. But that is an illusion. So all this gold rings and gold necklaces and gold watches and mansions and Porsches and swimming pools and beautiful women, it's all an illusion. They basically, as soon as they sign their contract with these record labels, they're selling their soul. They're owned. They're basically modern day slaves. But they get portrayed as living this amazing, luxurious life, but it's not the case. Another illusion. But the problem with this illusion is that then there's many people growing up want to be just like their famous idols and rappers, and it goes on, and then obviously the ego takes over. These rappers, they come in, they want to be rich, they want to be famous, they want to be celebrities, they want all these followers, they want all these likes, want all this money. But it all comes with a price, unfortunately. And for the people I'm about to discuss, clearly it came as a price for them. So a lot of these deaths that have happened this year involving rappers, they've gone under the radar, as I've mentioned, because they're not, it's not Drake, it's not Eminem, it's not Lil Wayne, it's not Jay-Z. But they're still talented rappers. who released a lot of popular songs, and they've died recently, and it's clearly death by numbers. So on November the 5th, 2020, the rapper Brax, as seen here, died at the age of 21 on the Jesuit Day, November the 5th, which is Bonfire Night in England, 2020. Jesuit equals 21 full reduction. And November the 5th, 2020 left 56 days left in the year. And as I've mentioned, Society of Jesus equals 56, who I think is responsible for a lot of these ritual murders. And Black Lives Matter equals 56. And there's been a lot of black celebrity deaths this year. Biggest being Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, and Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther. But all the rappers I'm going to discuss here are all African American and all black. So that's Brax, but what I have for you here with LeVon James or King Von or Davon Bennett is just simply mind-blowing. And it's clear as day that there's a clear connection between LeBron James's death and LeBron James basically winning the NBA again this year with the LA Lakers. So this guy, LeBron James, he died the day after Brax on November the 6th. He was murdered in Atlanta. Some feud or some beef that the media make up. I believe this had everything to do with a ritual blood sacrifice involving LeBron James and the Lakers, which was connected to the Lakers winning the NBA Finals and LeBron going 4-6 in finals. So he's played in 10 NBA Finals, he's won 4 now, he's lost 6. I truly believe that the Lakers will win again this year, and LeBron will go 5-6 for that 56 connection, and I believe they'll three-peat. So he'll go 6-6, and we all know about the number 66, and they'll three-peat just like Michael Jordan did, Chicago, and just how Kobe did with Shaq for the Lakers. And it'll basically, there'd probably be no argument. If LeBron goes 6-6, equaling Jordan with 6 rings, and he's done it for 3 different teams because he did it with Cleveland, Miami Heat, and the Lakers, it'll be hard to argue that he's not the greatest ever, especially with his statistics as well. But you need a lot of sacrifices for that to happen. So King Von, he paid tribute to LeBron James in his album LeVon James, mocking at the highest level, aka King James, on March the 6th, which can also be written 3-6, because March is the 3rd month, and it was the 6th day of that, 2020. And Reaper equals 36, if you think of the Grim Reaper, in 2 of the 4 main ciphers. He also died on Friday, and Friday equals 36 full reduction. This particular album, LeVon James, had a lot to do with the number 64 though as well, as he was killed on November the 6th, which is the 311th day of the year, which is the 64th prime. I'll discuss this number a little bit later with other rappers as well, the 64 connection, but in particular LeVon James right now. So his birth name is Devon Bennett, which has a reverse full reduction of 64. Here he is wearing the Lakers jersey, 23, LeBron's number, in Chicago, because he was born in Chicago. Here you can get jerseys of King Von in Lakers colours with the 64 on the back. It's just crazy to me that they profit off the deaths of these celebrities. They often make more money when they die than when they were alive. You just look at Kurt Cobain, look at Elvis, Amy Winehouse. The list goes on and on and on with musicians who die young. And even Tupac, they leave a legacy and they just keep making more money. So his album cover, this was his album cover of LeBron James. And if you look here, you can see the 64 minutes on the clock. This looks to be the Staples Center, obviously where LeBron plays. And also the Staples Center, think about this. When Kobe died, the same day Kobe died, the Grammys was taking place. And where was it taking place? The Staples Center, the exact day Kobe died. So I'm telling you, sports, music, movies, politics, it's all connected. It's all connected by the numbers. So there's 64 minutes on the clock, and his jersey is wearing 64. And then you got the 24 and the 6 here. The 24 is clearly a Kobe tribute. And then the 6 here could quite easily be LeBron going 6-6. It could be the fact that he wore the number 6 jersey at the Miami Heat. I'm not quite sure what the 6 is. But they do love that number. You could even maybe get the 64 backwards here, who knows? But yeah, look, it's just right in front of our face. And LeBron also does this before his games. He gets his hands and basically does that little ritual before the game. The word kill equals 64, and as I've said, LeBron James was murdered. Furthermore, he is dead, or he was dead exactly 35 weeks after the release of the album. And LeBron James recently won the NBA Finals at the age of 35, going 4-6, which is a reflection of 64. LeBron James and King James both have a full reduction of 35. Adding to the King James riddle, LeBron James died 89 days after his 89th birthday, as he was born on August the 9th, 1994. So August being the 8th month, he died on the 9th day. 1994 also adds up to 23 in numerology, which is the current jersey number of LeBron James. If you do 1 + 9 + 9 + 4, it gives you 23. LeBron also died on 11/6, so he died on the 6th of November, and LeBron James equals 116 in English ordinal. So look, you got the 116 connection, the 89, with him dying 89 days. After, just wild, after his birthday, 89 days after his birthday, then we got the 55s, the 154, exactly the same. Ritual at the highest level. And in the light of the NBA connection, he has died on a date with 57 numerology. It's November the 6th, 2020, can be written 11/6/2020, 11 + 6 + 20 + 20 gives you 57. NBA Finals in reverse full reduction equals 57. LeBron James, he spoke out about the death of King Von, saying his whole family respected him as an artist. Damn, rest easy, Von, Bron said on Twitter. Bronny Bryce and I rocked with his music and storytelling. The kid had a damn good future ahead of him. My prayers and blessings to his family. This makes me sick. LeBron also added the hashtag LeVon James, a nod to Von's 2020 album titled LeVon James. So they come out and then they always make LeBron James look like this hero, this nice guy, this family man, but he's not. He's a sick human being who's clearly extremely talented, but he knows what's going on. On a side note, LeBron James' name has connections with the major sporting events this year and going into next year. So it was the 116th World Series in the baseball, and it will be the 55th Super Bowl. So if you look here, the 116 and the 55. I told you, it's all connected. Who would connect a rapper with the outcome of a NBA Finals? But it happens. And also the New England Patriots honored the late rapper at practice. They played his breakout hit Crazy Story over the speakers, and Crazy Story equals 55. Like it's going to be the 55th Super Bowl in reverse full reduction. On November the 10th, DJ Spinbad, which to be honest is a horrific name for a DJ, DJ Spinbad, was reported dead, dying at the age of 46. So again, another rapper dead, or DJ, African American dying, and at the age of 46. And I've discussed 46 and the connection with LeBron going 4-6. MO3, another rapper, was murdered on the I-35 in Dallas, Texas. Of course, the I-35, the 35 connections. He died on the 12th of November. And on the same day, Dr. Rose, a Dallas area rapper, dentist, and if you put rapper dentist together like that, it's 66 full reduction, was shot at his office on the same day. Dr. Rose is an exact match in all 4 base ciphers with the word murder. 79, 34, 83, 38. 79, 34, 83, 38. Ritual. All planned, predetermined by the numbers. On November the 20th, 2020, a date with 35 numerology. Because if you do November's the 11th month, then 20, so you get 31, and then you add the 2s, you get 35. Catholic equals 35, rap equals 35, Satan, and they say they sell the soul to the devil, and they sign these contracts. Baphomet equals 35. Again, connections. Satan, Baphomet, 35. This year, a rapper named Benny the Butcher was shot at the age of 35, and he was born in 1984. I'm going to discuss that number later. It makes me think of George Orwell's book 1984. He was a clear Jesuit where he basically predicted or foreshadowed what's going on right now. And as mentioned, MO3 was murdered on the I-35, and he followed 305 people on Instagram. And in Gematria, you get rid of the zero. The zero doesn't have any value, so that's 35 if you get rid of that. So again, all these statistics that we see with followers and likes and subscriptions, they're all manipulated by the Jesuits. And you'll start recognizing certain numbers for certain people and how they always appear. It's wild. It really is. It doesn't look good for a rapper named 38 Spesh, as he is currently 35 and was born in 1984, and one of his associated acts is Benny the Butcher. So keep an eye on this guy, still alive now, 38 Spesh, but if something happens to him, it's likely not a coincidence. Hip-hop star Thresher, his name, so it equals 97 English ordinal, 38 reverse full reduction, and death equals 38 English ordinal and 97 reverse ordinal. He revealed that he was robbed. The word robbed equals 35 reverse full reduction and attacked recently. Thresher's star began to rise in 2016 when he released his single Wait a Minute. This is a big hit. It's a big hit. It did really well. And that equals 46 in full reduction. The title of that song. Sacrifice equals 46 full reduction. The song also has a link with Freemasonry, as the track is 3 minutes and 30 seconds in length. So again, you don't count the zero. It has no value, so it's 33. I've discussed that number heavily with the Masons. The robbery happened right after Joe Biden was selected to be the 46th president of the US. And let's not forget that Joe Biden's son, Beau Biden, died at the age of 46, which could have easily been a sacrifice. And remember that LeBron James, as I keep telling you, is now 4-6 in the NBA Finals. There was also a rapper called Chink Struggs, who was killed back in 2015, who has a 46 connection. That's Chink Struggs equals 46 in reverse full reduction. So let's take a look at this. Thresher equals 38. King Von equals 38. Rapper equals 38. Lil Wayne equals 38. Murder equals 38. Killing equals 38. It's time to acknowledge these numbers and that the Jesuits give these rappers specific names that have these values. These rappers don't come up with the name Thresher or Lil Wayne and all of that, especially when you look at the actual real names. For example, here, where you have a certain rapper here, Chink Struggs, that Z is not just to be cool or hip. It's because they don't want to use an S because it's not going to come up with a value of 38. Clear as day, Ritual, these rappers are getting murdered. And not by each other, that they'll tell us in the media. They're getting killed off. Ritual sacrifices. In a Thanksgiving post on Instagram, Thresher, who starred on Love and Hip Hop New York, wrote that he was the victim of a robbery and assault and was almost kidnapped. He posted a picture of him in the hospital with a swollen, bruised eye with the caption, "Last Friday, I put my family, friends, and team through a real scare." So here's the image. Clearly, he's been hit in his eye. There's no denying that. He has to have the mask on, though, doesn't it? He's got to push the Jesuit agenda. So it says here, Love and Hip Hop rapper Thresher posts hospital photo after being nearly killed at gunpoint. He said, "I was robbed at gunpoint. And that equals 116 English ordinal and 44 full reduction. The word execution equals 116 and 44 also. Kill equals 44. African American equals 116. And a lot of African Americans getting killed. The Young Grateful group equals 116. They're the group that helped his song Wait a Minute blow up because it was a big time hit. Remember that song equals 46. He said, "They took my car, money, jewelry, but they couldn't take my spirit." It literally sounds like lyrics from a song. "I'm still here, and for that I'm grateful to be able to tell you this because things could have been different." His actual name is Kashawn Ramik Rutling. If you look here, there's that 311 again, which is a 64th prime. So again, another connection with the 64. This time, I'm pretty sure that he won't make it to his next birthday. Just purely for execution being 116, all these numbers. a kill. So I'm sure they'll tell us in the near future that he was caught up in another beef. He was trying to get revenge. This time they did kidnap him and he was murdered. And then it'll be all over the media. We need to stop killing each other. Rappers need to stop doing this. But again, they're probably not killing each other. They're getting killed by the Jesuit order. Killed by the numbers. Then we got Little Yace. So he was a Bay Area rapper. He was reportedly shot and killed on Saturday, November the 28th, 2020, adding to the growing list of rappers who have been gunned down in 2020. The body of the 25-year-old Little Yace, whose real name was Mark Anthony Alexander, that equals 311. Again, the 64th prime. Another one. Kill equals 64, as I've said, in reverse ordinal. He was found in the southern section of the East Bay. Puzzling thing is, Little Yace is said to have told his friends he would be right back. Again, if you read these headlines and you see certain words or basically expressions quoted, it's because they have important gematria value for the Jesuits. 79, 43, 164, and 56. 56. During a Friday late night studio session in Marin County, a region north of San Francisco. Makes me think of St. Francis. It's a 20-minute drive to Richmond, California, where Tayway, another rapper, who was murdered on the 18th of September 2020, 2 months and 10 days from the day Yace was killed. And that's kind of like 21. Okay, so you got 2 here, the 10 is 10. You don't count 0 again in gematria, so you got the 21. I told you Jesuit equals 21. And then there was a rapper called Briss, which equals 21 for reduction. He was from Sacramento, California, and he was murdered on the 26th of June 2020. So another rapper dead in 2020. From the day Briss was murdered until Tayway's death is 2 months and 28 days, like 228. Death equals 228 in English Sumerian. I don't often use this cipher, but it's another cipher that you can use to decode things like this, but I usually use the main 4 ciphers, keep it simple. It's usually effective. From the day Tayway was murdered until Yace's death is 71 days, a big number. African American equals 71 for reduction. Catholic equals 71, English ordinal. And Briss and Tayway both died on dates with numerology of 67, 31, and 47. Blood sacrifice equals 67 for reduction. Human sacrifice equals 67 for reduction. Yace died on a date numerology of 79. Murder equals 79, English ordinal. Briss, here we go again with the numbers, had 38,000 subscribers. Let's get rid of those zeros because they don't count in gematria, so it's basically 38. On YouTube at the time of his death. Again, it's just showing you how they just manipulate numbers even on YouTube. With subscribers, views, likes, dislikes. It's just a farce. It's a disgrace. You need to see right through it. What is it? Donald Trump now has what? 888 million Twitter followers or something. He loves that number. So Little Yace's new upcoming EP, Every Day is Friday, equals 38. Full reduction. Rapper equals 88. Reverse ordinal. Program equals 88. English ordinal. And the Jesuits want to program people about everything really, to see the world how they see it, to think that young black men are violent and killing each other over street beef, when it's likely them responsible for these killings. And this goes all the way back to Tupac and Biggie, another 2 extremely famous rappers who were tragically killed. And I'm sure it was by the numbers. I'll do a video on it. For example, like Tupac was shot down in Vegas and not one camera could see who did it. I'm not having that at all. So yeah, they portray these young black men to be violent, and especially rappers, and they go out killing each other. No, it's all agenda. But then you see all these celebrities come out and say, we need to stop doing this, it needs to stop now. It never stops because it's the Jesuits doing it. It's not the rappers. A lot of these rappers are probably genuine, nice people, especially when they were younger, who just want to be famous, they're good at rapping. They want to go tour. They want the luxury and all of that, but I'm sure they're not all evil who go around shooting people just to prove a point. Like 50 Cent, how many times did they say he got shot? Don't know, but it was ridiculous, and he's still alive. He even got shot in his face, supposedly. So Little Yace equals 83, 29, 106, and 43. And Murder equals 83 reverse ordinal. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 1983 by a band called The Police. So really popular band back in the 80s. Lead singer was a guy called Sting, who went solo, who did really well as well. And the word Black Lives Matter, I Can't Breathe, all equal 106, just like Little Yace. Makes you think here, I Can't Breathe, the George Floyd ritual that happened, and basically started this whole Black Lives Matter movement. Yace was an up-and-coming Bay Area rapper and was shot and killed in what amounted to be a mysterious murder. Again, those quotations. Mysterious murder equals 81 in full reduction. Ritual equals 81 in both English ordinal and reverse ordinal, with no explanation thus far. Remember that Kobe's highest scoring game in the NBA was 81 points, which was clearly a ritual. Got 81 points, but no, Kobe was just incredible, man. What a player. He's my idol, man. No, it was a ritual that he got 81 points. Again, sports are scripted. Clear as day that they're scripted. Pretty much all professional sports, not just the American ones. Yace was hanging out with his crew late Friday night. Remember, Friday equals 36, at a recording studio in Marin County. And look at this. This has 3 of the 4 ciphers as Jesuit order, the 153, 54, and 144. Clear as day who was responsible for his death. Slightly north of San Francisco, and left on his own at one point around 11:30, telling his buddies he'd be right back. I've already discussed how 113 is the number of deception, and him leaving at 11:30 says it all. As gematria, 0 has no value, so in essence it's 113. Get rid of that 0, it's 113. They have to tell us it's 11:30, around 11:30. Not 9:30 or 10 or 10:45. The 113. There it is again. Mainstream equals 113. Dishonest 113, not true. 113, not factual 113. Not honest equals 113. Disinfo 113. Green screen 113. Fiction 113. And this word 113. And there's plenty more. We're basically getting deceived in pretty much everything, especially by the mainstream. I'd say 99% of what they report is not factual, not true, or fiction, to create panic, chaos, confusion. And they'll do it in so many ways. They're doing it now with the virus, do it with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. They'll do it with celebrity deaths. They'll do it with politics. Just disinformation. And anybody like myself who's trying to reveal the truth, the genuine truth, which you won't find on the mainstream, get removed. The truth gets removed. It's super hard to basically reveal it and then for people to believe it. Because if you grow up your whole life watching the mainstream and believing what you see on the news to be true, or believing what's coming out of politicians and celebrities' mouths, you believe that to be true. And anyone who goes against that in this society is crazy or wacko or conspiracy theorist. Well, I'm telling you, the likes of my video, this should be prime time. People should be watching this, but they're not going to allow that. So they don't want the truth to be shared. An hour and a half later, word came in that Yace had been shot dead somewhere in the East Bay. Folks in Yace's inner circle were dumbfounded, which means like unbelievably shocked, as he had no known enemies and had done nothing, caused no beef with anybody. So they couldn't see why something like this would happen to him. Again, they don't know what's going on. Yace might have played tough in his music like many rappers, but in reality, all he really cared about was rapping and promoting his label. So look at this. His label was Highway 420 Productions, like 42. And that's the number stamped on black people. And label mates in gaming, like 42. Just think of Jackie Robinson Moore, number 42, and Chadwick Boseman played him in the movie 42, and Chadwick Boseman died at 42, even though they changed his date of birth online to 43. But I have evidence that it came out that he died at 42. Too many connections were going together. This number was played big this year in sports. The NHL, the winning team, won 4-2. The NBA, the Lakers won 4-2 against the Miami Heat. In baseball, the Dodgers beat Tampa Bay 4-2. So this number's played heavily in sports. Wild stuff, to be honest with you. But it's a big, big number, the 42. A slave equals 42, and a few other words that I'm not going to say because they're very offensive equal 42. But maybe if you use the gematria calculator, just type in the number 42, it'll tell you. So basically, he started releasing music as young as 18, but he truly burst onto the scene with his single "Get It In." So that is 84 English ordinal. Jesuit equals 84. I've already discussed George Orwell's book 1984, where he foreshadowed what's going on right now. Massive Jesuit, but people think he was just mystic and he could read the future. No, just a puppet again of the Jesuit order. United States of America equals 84. Tampa equals 84. And this is crazy. So basically, 3 Tampa teams made these finals in the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB. They lost the baseball. So like I said, the Lakers beat Tampa Bay. Rays, I think they're called. In the NBA, the Lakers beat Miami Heat. And the NFL, not the NFL, need to change this. It wasn't the NFL, it was the NHL. And I think the actual Tampa team may have won that. I think they were playing a team from Boston, but I'm not an expert with NHL. So 3 Tampa teams make the final. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make the Super Bowl. Okay, recently they've lost a few games. People are saying Tom Brady's past it, but I will not be shocked to see Tampa Bay make the Super Bowl, which is taking place in Tampa. So we'll see what happens there. And look here, Tampa is where rapper Ace NH just killed 2 people as well. A lot of stuff going on with Tampa, and I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that it equals 84. Like I said, his most famous song, Get It In. Look, there's the 84, English ordinal, and there's the 42. And that's his most famous song. I wonder why. So Yace was only 25 years old when he died. Death equals 25, irreversible reduction. He died on the 28th of November 2020, which is a date with 79 numerology. Murder equals 79. From the date of Yace's last album, which dropped on 9/11, by the way, 9/11, we know about that, 20, until 28th of November 2020 is 79 days. The name of the album is called Yace and Nems, which equals 10836, 10836. So there's those 36s I've discussed heavily. Like how LeVon James basically released his album on the 6th of March, 3/6. Geometry, look, has 3 of the same 4 ciphers. The 108 and 10836. By the way, 45 is a pretty big number, especially with Trump, who was the 45th president. But look, the 108, 10836. The album before, that was called Kobe. I've already discussed how Lil Wayne paid tribute to Kobe in his album, but this album was literally called Kobe. Kobe album by Lil Yace was released on 7/7/2020, a date with 54 date numerology. Jesuit order equals 54 full reduction. And from Yace's birthday on the 19th of May 2020 until he was murdered is 193 days, which is the 44th prime number. And look at this, kill equals 44, shooting equals 44, execution equals 44, East Bay equals 44, where his body was found. Sunnyvale, California, 38, rapper 38, murder 38. So there you have it, folks. It's clear as day that people are getting murdered by the numbers. It's not just rappers. Okay, it's actors, it's athletes, it's politicians, it's people who basically run big organizations. It's happening pretty much not every day, but close enough. I'm just talking about rappers who have recently passed away. and clearly all death by numbers. So it's happening. It's happening. That 46 number, how it's connected with LeBron, how it's connected with Joe Biden. Think about how JFK died at the age of 46, the first Catholic president. Catholic equals 36. Joe Biden's the 46th president of the United States, so he was selected, not elected. These rappers, whatever you say about them, I feel sorry for them. I do. Even to an extent, if they know what's coming, because it's just their ego that basically they've sold their soul to the devil for fame and fortune, and it continues to happen, and this needs to stop. We need to start telling our children that being famous is not what it's cracked up to be. You basically sign a contract and you're owned by the Jesuit order. So anyway, let's see. Let's keep an eye on Little Wayne. Let's see if he makes it to the age of 39, and keep an eye on rappers in general dying. And if you do come across a rapper that dies, leave a comment, and I'll decode their death, which I'm sure will prove that it was murdered by the numbers. So there you have it. Why are so many rappers dying recently? Because they're getting killed off by the numbers.